Hey guys, what's going on? I'm here to do another gaming video for you. Last year I talked about the games that I had finished in 2014, and I decided to do the same this year. I was very organized and I kept track of every single game that I finished, whether it was big or small, and I was quite productive. I finished almost 40 games this year. I think this video will probably be very long, so I'm probably going to break it up into a couple of different parts to spare you guys watching one big long video. And rather than break it up by system like I have done in previous years, I instead decided to break it up according to the genre, or as close to a genre as I could get, or type of game. Just because, again, there was so many different ones that I had finished, and my gaming has kind of branched out. I'm not playing console so much exclusively anymore. I'm also playing games on Steam and whatnot. So I will just go ahead and start to tackle this list. We'll go through all the things that I managed to play in 2015. So I'm going to start with my multiplayer games. These are all games that I played with the aid of a friend, and I managed to play quite a bit, which was nice. I'm not usually much of a social gamer, but I was able to spend more quality time with some of my friends, and it was really nice to be able to kind of have that different experience rather than playing by myself. I got an Xbox One this year for my birthday, and the first game that I got for my One is Diablo 3. I had a friend who really wanted me to play with him. He knew I was getting an Xbox One, so I decided to make that my first purchase. We played it together, and he was able to not only help me with the game, but also help me kind of understand my Xbox One when I was first getting into it, which was very nice. Diablo's not normally the kind of game that I would play, but I actually really enjoyed myself. And it was nice because it was nice to play with him, but it was also nice to play by myself as well, which was very enjoyable. I played as a barbarian, and I only really played the main story. I played up until level 70, and then I quit. I'm not really the kind of person who can play a game like that and continually play and up the challenge. I kind of just called it quits and moved on to other things, but I really think that it was very fun and very different from what I would normally play. Finally, after many years of coming and going and trying time and time again, I was able to finish Dead Island, which, thank God. I can't say that Dead Island is a game that I particularly enjoy, but I like to finish what I start, and it was kind of just nagging me that I had tried to beat this game so many times and never got around to doing it. So I managed to find a person who really actually likes the game, genuinely, and they helped me with it. So I have now washed my hands of Dead Island, and I don't think I'm going to be playing Riptide. With all due respect, I think I've kind of had my Dead Island fill. I'm sure there's other zombie games that I can play. So that is done, complete. That's a chapter of my life I never have to look back on. And I was very proud of myself because I not only finished Dark Souls, but I finished Dark Souls 2. I pretty much played them back to back. Huge shout out to my friend Cypher, who is an amazing Dark Souls player. He knows a great deal about the lore as well. It was very nice to have someone there to help me with the game, to help me understand it, and to also kind of give me history lessons about the enemies and the bosses and the sceneries and pretty much the whole world of Dark Souls. It kind of enriched my experience beyond what I would get playing on my own, and that helped me finish it because I would probably just get too frustrated and not finish it if I had played it myself. So it was a struggle, but it's very, very satisfying when you finish it, and it was definitely a very good experience for me. There's a few other games that I played this year that I don't have physical copies of anymore. F.E.A.R 3, I finished with a friend. I sold it immediately after finishing it because I was terrible at it, but you gotta try something to know that you're bad at it. So probably won't be playing many other fast-paced shooters because I just end up getting killed. I played Battleblock Theater with a friend. Very short and sweet, colorful, fun. I think I prefer Castle Crashers, but Battleblock was definitely a fun multiplayer experience. I finished Serious Sam 3 with a friend, which again, not normally the kind of game that I would play, but I did find myself enjoying it. It's a type of shooter that you can enjoy because it doesn't take itself too seriously, so that was more fun again than I thought I would have playing that kind of game, and I'm very happy for that experience. And then finally, the last multiplayer game that I played was the first Borderlands. I mentioned in the video that I did last year that I had finished Borderlands 2 for my first time, and so I wanted to go back and play the first game. I played as a siren, and I'm currently working on the pre-sequel as well. So at this point, I'm kind of playing a Borderlands game for each year. So hopefully I'll be done that in the year 2016. Those are all the games that I can remember playing for multiplayer. I don't think I've missed anything. So I'm going to move on to point and click, hidden object, visual novels, dating sims, like that kind of genre, those types of games. And I did play quite a few of them this year. So I'm just going to start with my two that I have physical copies of. I played both Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls. Heavy Rain I've watched 1,000,001 playthroughs of, and I kind of started it a while back but never finished it, so I played it and I finished it. And then I decided that I wanted to move on to Beyond Two Souls. Both games are made by the same developer, company, whatever, so they have very similar play styles. I played it the first time with a friend. We did the co-op thing, and then of course I played it on my own, and I'm also doing a playthrough of it. Both good games, kind of dark, but a lot of fun. I really enjoy playing both of them. And all the other games that I have on this list are all from my Steam library, so it's a mix of a bunch of different games. The first one that I played very early on in the year was a game called Choice of the Deathless, which is 100% text-based. I do believe you can also get this for mobile. I think it's on Android, just because there is no real playing. You basically just read the story, and you make the occasional choice, and whatever choices you make, you'll get your ending. So whether or not you consider that a video game is up for debate, but it's a very, very well written story. It was a lot of fun to read, just something a little bit more relaxed, something that I can kind of use my imagination for. I do like to read real books as well, so I played that I think for 3 or 4 hours, got all the achievements, and added that to my 100% completion list, so I was very happy to be able to do that. I received a visual novel as a gift from my friend W.Tix Jaichi, which is called The Way We All Go, and it's a pretty long visual novel. It's got 21 different endings, and it's very dark. It deals with a lot of very dark, kind of mature themes. It's a little bit weird, a little bit out of the ordinary for your visual novel, but again, it was something I enjoyed. It, like I said, because it was very long, it gave me more enjoyment, like more hours than I would get out of a normal visual novel, so that was a very very nice and very thoughtful gift from my friend. And by the end of it, I was done reading. I was kind of cross-eyed because I had spent so long trying to get all 21 endings. There was a free dating sim on Steam. I'm not sure if it's still available or not, but it's a game by the title of Everlasting Summer, which is a dating sim that takes place at a summer camp. And for a free game, it's excellent. It has so much content for something that's free that I'm really shocked it was free. So it was kind of a really, really nice find. The game is in English, but it has been translated from Russian, so there's a couple of terms in there that you kind of have to go and look up because you're not entirely sure, but that doesn't really deter from the gameplay. It's still a very, very solid dating sim, and I really enjoyed it, and like I said, I was very shocked that it was free. So if you're into dating sims and that game is still available on Steam, then I would definitely recommend at least checking it out because it's free. What's the harm in it, you know? I played a game called Journal, which I know what it's about, but it's kind of hard to explain. It's just one of those things where it was just like a one-off random game I played to kind of get it crossed off my Steam library. Very minimalist game, just put in a couple hours and I finished it. You kind of just play the story of this young girl, the protagonist, and you kind of go through the motions. It's kind of linear point-and-click storytelling. So again, if you're into that kind of genre, that might be worth checking out. And I ran into a very interesting type of game called the 39 Steps, which I do believe is actually based off of a real book. It is a mystery detective type of game, and it's almost like an audiobook because it is a visual novel. There is really next to no choice making. There really is no clicking at all. Very, very, very minimal, very linear, but it's narrated. It's fully narrated, fully voiced, and the narration is very good. It was presented very well. So even though I wasn't playing it, it was really a joy to listen to in a really weird way. You wouldn't think you'd get enjoyment out of that, but again, very simple, very straightforward, very easy to listen to, and just a nice kind of storytelling experience. And then the last couple of games on my list are all hidden object games. I kind of went through a phase this year. I don't know where the phase came from, but I was just super into hidden object games for a little while. And there's one particular developer on Steam that has a plethora of different hidden object games. They all have identical gameplay, but they all have different stories. So I was able to play one, get through it, and kind of move on from one game to the next. There are a lot of them that I purchased but haven't played, so I'll probably continue to play these on into next year. But I played and finished a total of 4 of these games this year. The first one was 9 Clues, The Secret of Serpent Creek. I played Alchemy Mysteries, Prague Legends, Clockwork Tales of Glass and Ink, and then I played Nightmares of the Deep, The Cursed Heart, which is a pirate-themed hidden object game. And that was all that I had played in that category, but I am the type of person who does like to play those kinds of games, especially because they are short, they are sweet, and it's just something to detract me from games that are a little bit more stimulating and a little bit, there's more to it, more I have to pay attention to, more I have to do long games, that kind of thing. Just something to kind of break up the monotony. And at this point, I'm halfway through the list. I've got more games on the list, but I'll probably do that in another video. I think at this point we can split it up and I'll go into part 2 of all the things that I have played and completed in 2015. So I'll cut it off here and I will be back with part 2.